seconds remaining.
Just if you need to adjust the volumes, this is the one you want to use.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Naga Siren.
Radiant team ban. DK's turn to ban.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to the Dota 2 Super League Grand Finals. It's Tang Fu versus DK, an all-Chinese showdown. Two of the more defensive teams in the Chinese scene. I'm LD at Beyond the Summit. Delighted to have you all here. This series is going to be a best of 5. Hopefully, it will go the distance. And of course, I'm joined here today by someone very special. It's Brax from LGD International. Brax, how you doing?
Hi. Hi. You guys hear me?
I hear you fine.
Okay, good. You're a little staticky on my end, but it's okay.
Okay. Well, you sound good to me, so hopefully you can somewhat understand what I'm saying, and you sound good for the people at home. So how you doing, Brax?
I'm doing great.
You sound excited. Come on, it's the Grand Finals. It's the DSL. You got to get up for this.
You don't understand. I see a Naga. It's going to put me to sleep.
Oh, man. Yeah, Naga. We've seen actually a fair amount of support Naga as of late, too. Which I find kind of interesting.
It's a really versatile hero. You can put it anywhere.
And obviously, she gives you the Ensnare, the Song of the Siren. Great hero to pressure Anti-Mage and potentially even kill him early if you can get the jump on him. So, Brax, looking at the draft now, we'll go through the bans and picks real quickly, and then we could talk about them. DK, they've banned out Auk, Gyro, Lone Druid, and Weaver. 4 carries. They've picked Magnus, Anti-Mage, and Shadow Demon. So we have a Burning AM. We've got Empower on his side. And then for Tang Fu, banning out Darkseer, Batrider, Nature's Prophet, and Clockwork. A lot of those solos, both teams with very different strategies thus far in the draft, and they've picked up a Visage and a Naga. So talk to me about this draft. What are you seeing from each team?
I think DK has a very standard 4 Protect 1 lineup that they usually always play. This looks very much like a DK lineup, doesn't it? They got Mag to protect AM, and he's going to gear up. And Tang Fu, okay, they usually play more of a split push style strategy, but they can do anything. So
yeah, Tang Fu's the more unpredictable team, it seems, in terms of what kind of strategy they use. So they've given away the Burning Anti-Mage. There's a Shadow Demon protecting him, and they have Magnus. Obviously, DK has pretty significant late game secured. Do you think it's good to give this away? Does Tang Fu have a nice draft to deal with it? Because to me, it looks like they're a bit lacking on lockdown right now.
They're a bit lacking on lockdown, but they're not the ones that are going to be... I don't feel as if they're the team that's going to be on the clock this game. I think they're going to sit comfortably in lanes and just farm.
Really?
While DK are going to... Yeah, I really do. They'll have 3 core heroes, and they'll sit on lanes and farm, and Naga will sit behind one of these heroes, so if they come to gank him, she'll sleep, lifesteal will be okay, he can rage TP out, and then they'll have to pick something else. They prefer like a Weaver or something, but it's obviously banned out. This is just how they usually play, though. I don't know if they'll do it this game.
Yeah, well, they do seem to be headed in that direction, right? Because they've got the Naga, they have the lifesteal. I mentioned Naga can be played as a support, but we've seen a fair amount of farming Nagas. That would give them a strong tri-lane, a strong solo in the lifestealer, potentially, or he could be a part of the tri-lane, and Naga can go mid, which we've seen quite a bit of from the Asian teams. And then they would just need that third core. Is it a Storm Spirit you think they'd be looking at, or what are your options here if you're Tang Fu?
Let's see real quick. I gotta look at champions.
Looking at the champions. Oh yeah.
Uh-oh, my bad, wrong word.
It's okay.
Even like Bottom isn't horrible. Alright, just kidding. Storm Spirit, you're right. I lost.
Well, they go for the Lifestealer bombs. I think Storm is the ideal vehicle to get into the fights for Lifestealers, so wouldn't say it's a big surprise. Obviously, Storm can be a double-edged sword here, though. If that hero's a bad start or gets caught out with no mana against Anti-Mage, he is a walking time bomb, and Puck Silence can really punish him. So it's a pretty bold pick, I feel, from Tang Fu. And we'll see DK now working on their last ban of this draft. They've got the Shadow Demon. They've got their 5-position support. They do need that secondary support. Maybe something like Alina would be up their sleeve. Twin-Headed Dragon, a possibility. I feel they are a bit lacking in terms of AoE.
Yeah, definitely. But look at the bans from Tang Fu. They have 4 heroes. They have 3 Hex carry. Well, Batrider can get a Hex late game, but they have 4 heroes basically either catch or have really big teamfight presence. So they want to be able to farm up 3 heroes, get as much items as them possible, and then be able to take a late game teamfight.
Right.
But DK has Mag and Puck. So no matter how farm these three heroes might be, it could be irrelevant. You never know exactly.
Yeah, like if they all get caught in RP and Burning has 3 or 4 items and he's cleaving, watch out.
Exactly. It doesn't matter how many items they have if they get caught by that.
But I do like Tongfu's lineup for avoiding eating a big RP, because you have to catch the Naga or else she'll just sleep. You have to catch the Storm, and that's tough when you could just zip away. So maybe a lot of this draft is really going to come down to the play of Super on this Puck, because if Mag is the one to initiate, I feel like Tongfu is a great lineup just to spread and not get caught.
Right, exactly.
And DK.
Tongfu's playing the split push game.
Oh, they'll ban out an Enchantress here, so shoring up their laning stage a bit, and DK go for Lich. Wow. This hero we haven't seen very much.
They predict an offensive trialing with the Naga Visage and another hero.
Okay, and do you think that's... I mean, it looks like it could be an aggressive tri-lane. Who will Tongfu get as their third hero if they want to go aggressive?
I don't know. Windrunner would be ideal, but she's banned out.
You're supposed to be the man with all the answers, Brax.
Oh, I don't have answers. I lost, remember? I'm a spectator.
Aw. I would have put it like that.
But, they don't want a tri-lane that's going to go all in on the AM to kill him. They want something to harass him down like Windrunner. Something that's just going to be able to sit there on the lane and pressure him without going all in for a kill, without chain stuns or something. Because if they have chain stuns and they waste them, then they can disrupt the AM when the stun comes, and then they can turn on you. But with a passive harass tri-lane, with like a Windrunner, for example, it's a perfect example. You'd be able to just right-click this guy out of lane and prevent him from farming.
Yeah, the
While you
Windrunner
slowly
actually
play all your
did get banned, but I guess... And Weaver as well. Actually, all those harass heroes have been mostly banned out here by DK.
Yeah.
So I wonder what Tongfu turned to. Well, I guess the other question is, how is Tongfu going to lane this? We've seen a lot of Naga mid. It looks like probably a tri-lane Naga, though. What do you think?
5 seconds.
Lena.
I think it's going to be...
Tri-lane
Alright,
Naga.
so this is Farmer Naga, most likely.
Yeah, so tri-lane Naga probably, or is it a... I guess
It'll be
they
a
could
Naga
put Lifesteal or RTK on the Magnus. So DK is running an off-lane mag, or at least a solo mag, and that, I imagine, means that Hao is going to try and get the 1v1 as the Lifestealer. Well, we'll see Banana selecting up the Lina here. We can actually switch over to our draft screen, or our in-game screen. How do you feel about the drafts overall, Brax? Does anyone have a clear advantage here, or is it mostly just going to come down to execution?
It just comes down to the first 10 minutes, probably. If Tongfu can shut them down in the laning phase, I think it's an easy, slow death for them. They'll be able to out-farm and just play all three. Three of their big farmers will just sit in each lane and be pretty much almost ungankable by DK, unless they come with, 3 or 4 heroes. And then by that time, they'll be damaging all the other outer towers, and they'll just lose more than they'll get by killing this one guy.
Gotcha.
So it depends how laning.
So
goes.
I guess specifically look towards the... Is there any one lane that really stands out to you? Or are they all equally important here? Or is it mostly just about shutting Burning down?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Well,
That's me.
No, it's okay. We'll introduce Tongfu, and then hopefully we can chat a little more about the draft. For Tongfu, we've got Mu, your solo mid Storm Spirit, going to be handling the Storm, as suggested. Banana, the support Lina. King J, playing the Naga Siren, so that's your 3-position player. Probably going to be the tri-lane farmer. Sung Shung will be your support Visage, and then last but not least, it'll be Hao, playing the Lifestealer, leading the charge. 5 heroes for Tongfu, grouped up and heading towards the top lane. It's game 1 for the Dota 2 Super League Grand Finals. DK versus Tongfu. $88,000 to first place. MMY going to be handling our Lich. We have ROTK on the Magnus for Team DK. On the Dire side, Super, your solo mid Puck, saving for a pretty early bottle. QQQ, or 357 on the Shadow Demon. And last but not least, it's Burning. And actually, it looks like DK may be taking a page out of Orange Esports book here and going to be sending the anti-mage mid. Or no, dual lane mid, it looks like. So, Brax, we're going to see a dual lane mid anti-mage Lich from the looks of things. At least for now, it looks that way. How do you feel about the lanes?
It does. That's probably the best thing they could have done to dodge a defensive try and they'd lose. But they still might lose it in the mid lane.
So, for Tongfu, who do they send mid here? Is it going to be a Naga Visage, you think? Or... Well, it looks like Tongfu's maybe running some dual lanes of their own. No, Lina heading bottom. So Tongfu going to leave that Lifestealer solo top for Hao. And he'll get the 1v1 versus RTK. That's a matchup that Tongfu really wants. Lifestealer versus Mag.
Yeah, they scouted the Mag earlier.
So smart. I think that's a very smart laning decision for Tongfu. The mid lane could be tough, though. Storm against a dual lane and an anti-mage dual lane. This is something where Moo's going to have to play very defensively.
Right, the AL will get some farm, but a dual lane here, 2-on-2, isn't that bad for Tongfu at all. They'll still be able to prevent him from farming a little bit, they just won't get as much as they'd like out of the lane.
Yeah, and off the bat, it is going to be 2 ranged heroes. So dual lanes for both teams mid. DK trying to get Burning Farm, already down to about half HP. Yet to get a CS, and we're now 2 waves in. Or we're about to be 2 waves in, I should say. And, well, that bottom lane, Naga Siren against an off-lane Puck with a support Visage for the time being. A lane that probably isn't going to kill the Puck. But King J should be able to get decent farm here.
You know, DK actually looked like they had very standard lanes that they would lose from the get-go, but they placed them so well that I think they'll be able to win most of these. Or not win, but do a lot better than they should.
Yeah, I guess the
like
one
mid and top, for example.
The one concern for me is Burning isn't farming much, but he is getting a few CS here and there, and I imagine he'll pick things up if he goes back for a Quelling Blade. But it's getting the levels, and not really. I don't really see any lanes for DK that are going to die early, which is the main thing. You avoid that Visage tri-lane, you limit the potential for Tang Fu to just blow a hero up off the bat. So overall, Brax, do you give either team a big advantage here? It seems like for the time being, Magnus the lead farmer for DK. Actually, RTK doing really well in this lane, but no huge advantage, at least on the stats board. Strategically, would you say this is pretty even?
Yeah, it's pretty even. There's no huge laning advantage from either team yet. It's just that Naix is probably going to get a lot less than they expect him to.
Yeah, he's under a lot of duress here. QQQ driving him off the lane, disrupting him. 5-2 for House, sitting on decent regen still. Burning, however, struggling a bit on his own. Only 3-0. Uncharacteristically low CS for Burning this early on. It's been a lot of harassment, and he has been last under tower without a Quelling Blade quite a bit. And it seems to be affecting him.
Yeah, this dual lane mid against the solo hero will completely crush them. They'll get no experience and they'll get every creep kill. But against the dual lane, it does even it out. Because Lich doesn't have the best lane presence early, as in keeping the 2 heroes out. They'll be able to trade more. And the other trade-off is, of course, the Storm doesn't get as much farm, which I guess is important, but is it as important as AM getting farm? I don't really know.
Yeah, it seems like it's working out all right for Tang Fu now. They've been slowing down Burning CS, but as the Lich levels up, he can just continue to deny more and more creeps. And I think that's going to pose a problem for Tang Fu. They need to start doing some mid pulls, and it looks like Banana will be stacking them up now. Storm, one of the better carries to actually farm that mid pull. Or even just farm the camp. So for the time being,
I think the only real thing to note here is that Mag is going to get some... He'll have a decently fast blink at this rate.
Yeah, he's farming really well.
Farm.
And we're actually going to see a rotation mid from QQQ. He's picked up a Smoke of Deceit. He's decided that RTK doesn't need any more assistance. And he might even look to get a kill on mid. If they can kill Storm, that's really going to help. Moo now going to try and farm the small camp, while Lina takes some experience mid. That smoke, was it used? It was. QQQ wrapping around looking for our first blood of the Dota 2 Super League Grand Finals. Can he find it?
This is huge.
Oh man, this could be a big rotation. Banana's a little bit far up, but he backs off just in the nick of time. Now comes back in, but it's too far for DK to engage. Well, that looked dangerous, but it worked out just fine. And now Bernie jumps forward. Maybe not. He takes a lot of damage as well. Will retreat. So the first smoke gank fails, and this is going to open up that top lane for Hao. Catching up quickly in terms of CS. Early Orb of Venom for him. Nice pickup versus the Mag, and is applying a lot of harassment. So the first smoke gank, a swing and a miss, Brex. I feel like you can't understand half of what I'm saying.
Well... You know, I hear half of it, and I'm trying to put the rest together, but...
Yeah, you have to play detective.
I'm trying.
We certainly appreciate
I think, the Naix basically does have a free farm lane at this point. You know, he was up against the dual lane, he had a little hard time early, he harassed him, but now that he left, he's okay that he's sitting on one regen. He can easily take, he's fine against the Mag.
And he'll have
it
infest soon. Oh, Soul Catcher gonna miss. How? Level 5, and just not a hero they can kill. Brex, he's also sitting on 2 skill points here, which I find interesting. Just waiting to see if he wants to be, whether he should level up the open wounds.
I think it's pretty standard. It's because, you know, if he has an opportunity to get a kill with wounds, he'll level that up right before he uses it.
Gotcha.
Just for the extra range.
And if he's in trouble, he'll level up the rage and just run away, I imagine. So for the time being, both teams continue just to trade farm. We'll take a look at the net worth for these heroes. Magnus sitting at 1,800 net worth. RTK, like you said, a fast blink dagger probably in the offing. At the same time, the Lifestealer, Naga, Anti-Mage all sitting very close. And I think the key thing for me is Burning starting to catch up, 17-2. Still no Quelling Blade, but the Tranquil Boot's on the way for him. So having a bit of a better time as this lane progresses. And they are slowing down Moo. His level 6, only 5.5. Normally the solo mid-storm would be 6 by now. But he is dual laning. He has been farming the pole camp. And Moo, well, his ult will be delayed. But for the time being, neither team really looking to go for any ganks.
Yeah, it's a big trade-off for the Storms, but he gets levels faster as a solo hero, but then he wouldn't get any farm.
Yeah,
I guess actually he makes up for it because Banana's stacking the small camp for him, so he gets some experience that way.
Yeah, they've been pretty efficient in that regard. And I'm looking at the 2 off lanes right now, and that's the one slight difference, is the Lifestealer's level 6. Super only sitting at level 5, just secured it. Moo's in trouble, though, mid lane. Burning on the hunt, blinking forward. This could be our first blood, just not enough damage. No Mana Void. No additional nuke, but they might be baiting it. There's your net. Teleport rotation in from King J. RTK joins the fight as well. Skewers forward. Looks for the shockwave. Moo could fall here. Gets chain stun. Can't get off the shockwave. Now RPs and goes down. First blood going the wrong way for DK. An immediate buyback. Oh, no, sorry, not a buyback. Just a visual bug from RTK here. But, wow. Thought he had that one for sure. Beautiful chain stun.
Yeah, I thought so too.
You don't see that
RTK is
very
one of my
often.
favorite players.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites too, even though I rag on him quite a bit.
You know, he's one of those players that always owns. It's just you don't know what team he's going to own for. But that could have gone either way, honestly. He could have owned for his team or the other team. And
yeah, I like your philosophy, Brax. That's exactly how I feel. People just don't appreciate his... They don't appreciate his ownage when it's going the other way. And now QQQ on the run. Phase Boots up for Hao. I don't even know if he can get out of here. He has Rage. He's still chasing. Phase Boots off cooldown. And now QQQ in a world of trouble. There's your Rage pop. Maybe just a split second earlier than needed, but no, it's not. Hao finds a solo kill. And that's a Shadow Demon who is just horribly underleveled. No boots, and just absolute food for this Lifestealer.
Yeah, SD's a great hero, but he has no way to deal with Nakes at all.
Yeah, not by his lonesome. If he had some backup there, maybe, but it's where people say that Shadow Demon's a counter to Lifestealer, and he's definitely not. He's just here to help you deal with him to some extent. They've gone in again.
Nicholas, shut up.
They've gone in again. Hi, Nicholas. That's the manager for LGD, by the way. Burning, getting pulled in mid lane. MDI will find a kill on Banana, now on the run. No blink just yet. It's cooling down. He will be okay. Hey, Brex, be nice to Nicholas. He's a cool guy.
He's a very cool guy, but he's a loud guy.
Well, I'm sure the viewers at home appreciate his discretion and being quieter now that you've slapped him around. See, isn't the manager supposed to be the one who bosses you around? I feel like that's kind of backwards right now. Or team leader. Team leader. Well, for the time being, we'll see a disruption here at the bottom rune. Oh, Sungshun could be in trouble. Shockwave, but the Grave Chill, too much move speed. RTK has no RP, still giving chase. Skewers forward, but it's only a level 2 skewer. 2 poison stacks up, it won't be enough. DK just slightly misfiring. In comes King J, Riptide on 2. RP being faked by RTK. Just toying with him now, and he will back off in the end. And mid lane, Burning desperately trying to find a kill, but Moo about to hit level 6, and I thought they had a few opportunities there on Moo, especially when that Magnus came in. That looked like a guaranteed first blood, but just great chain stun. And, well, Tang Fu, they now lead by about 2,000 gold, 2,000 experience. Our score, 2-1, 9 minutes in. And DK just not able to find that momentum that we thought they might with that early rotation.
I'd like to point out that the Nakes basically does have a free farm lane. Started off 1v2, and now he's just on top of the CS charts.
Yeah, they were shutting him down earlier when they dual lane, but as soon as that Shadow Demon smoke ganked mid and it failed, then Hao started to pull away, and now with Phase Boots with a max magic stick, it's almost impossible to gank him, and he's got max rage and access to infest. So if you want to kill him, you'd better send your entire team to do it, because otherwise he's just infesting and walking away.
Exactly. He's too hard for them to deal with right now.
And we really do see why so many of the Asian teams favor the Lifestealer pick, because you can run him as a defensive tri-lane here. You can run him as an off-lane. I know your team loves Lifestealer. I know you love playing it for LGDN. Seems to be one of your better heroes, along with the Prophet. But, well, it's working out here in game number 1.
Denied.
He's a pain in the ass, that Lifestealer, I'll tell you.
Alright, so Storm wants to set up a kill bottom.
Rotation comes from Moo. Zip in on ROTK. Gets caught. Pulled back in. Riptide bringing him low. He's not dead yet, though. Defensive disruption by QQQ, as well as a Soul Catcher. But Moo is going to live. Magnus RP wasn't used there. I think he was thinking about it, but just decided not to go for it in the end. Now the coil on King J. Pops the song. No mana to TP. Waiting for a stick to cool down. Now he's got the TP, but it might be too late. Maybe not. Bernie blinks in. Song still going. Blink cooling down for 10 seconds time. And now mid lane. They see that anti-mid bottom. They know they can go mid. Die next in line. Chain Frost thrown out rather frantically at that. It will bounce once more. but the bounces end here. Another kill for Tang Fu. They now lead 4-1. This Radiant squad in Game 1 of the Dota 2 Super League Finals. It's looking good for Tang Fu.
They get a free tower out of that too.
Yeah, the Tier 1 top falls, and like you said, if they win this late stage, and they're running the Tri-Core, which they certainly are, you thought they'd be in great shape coming towards the mid-game, and I'm looking at a Tang Fu team right now. 3 of the top 4 farmers, in terms of net worth, the same story there. They have level 6 on Storm. They can start going for some Lifestealer bombs if they want. And DK, well, we don't have a Magnus Blink Dagger yet. We actually don't even have Arcane Boots in our TK. He started as our lead farmer, but boy oh boy is he slowed down. So it seems to me that DK just have none of the tools they need to start taking fights, and they're completely on the defensive.
Yeah, they feel as if they're falling too far behind in the laning phase and they need to make something happen. They need to shift the momentum of all of Tong Fu's heroes. Look at them. Naix is just free to do as he pleases on the top lane. Storm Spirit's hard to catch, and Naga obviously has ults most of the time, so
yeah,
they want to break from the laning phase.
And now it's kind of suspicious, because Hao's at the Tier 2 and nobody's even defending that lane, which means probably something's rotten in the state of China. And here comes DK, as you mentioned, smoked up, trying to make something happen. It's what they need to do, but they have rather limited vision of the enemy jungle, and it seems they're not sure where to go. They rotate towards mid, but no Chain Frost here. They'll rely entirely on an ROTK RP. Dream Coil available for Super, but the Tier 1 mid starting to drop quickly. And if Tang Fu don't know about this gank, rather if they do, they don't care. They're still pushing mid. Come at us, they say. Bernie will TP top, but in comes the backstep from Hao. Oh, this has the smell of trouble for me. Hao, phase drum online. Could look to make a go. The familiar scouting, flying high above, and they'll take the Tier 1 mid unopposed. DK, that's great team fight lineup. Chain Frost, RP, Puck ult. Well, Chain Frost cooling down, and without it, they feel they can't defend. And now a zip. We'll have an infest bomb here potentially if necessary. Giving chase to ROTK, starting to drop pretty quickly. Storm zipping forward, pulling ROTK in. He's going to fall. The soul assumption from Sangsheng, not even needed, comes in after the death was complete. DK, great tower defense lineup. In theory, unable to defend their towers in practice.
In theory, yeah, but not the case.
Not against this Storm. Moo is just... There's nothing to punish him when he jumps in. No Puck Blink Dagger. And he's getting the mag, so the mag can't RP.
DK has a very strong team fight lineup on paper, of course, but they need a few core items before they can really do anything.
Yeah, I guess the 2 Blink Daggers would be the main ones, right?
Yes, exactly.
And ideally, fairly early mech would be nice, but I don't see who's going to build it. Lich maybe, but this is a Lich that's desperately poor. If he wants to get one, it's going to be a long time. Moo, zipping through the tree line. They've scouted him out with Shadow Poison, or at least attempted to. They seem to know Moo's here. He'll drop another Remnant. He'll back off. Regen rune about to end. And RTK maybe just up a little bit too far. Moose looking to jump, but afraid of getting silenced. He won't do so yet. They are starting to farm Burning. He's getting a few CS mid, now sitting at 70 and 14. But when you look at net worth, he's still about 1,000 gold behind the enemy lifestealer, and it's a phase drums lifestealer. It's not even a farming-oriented build. There's no Midas up here for Hao. Just out CSing Burning, 16 CS ahead, and a kill to his name, Burning. Just unable to connect on those early ganks. His team couldn't secure them for him, and now he struggles to keep up.
Look at DK's position right now. They're completely... Look, they're completely screwed. They have Naga, bottom lane, where they can't gank at all. They have a Storm mid lane, who they can't initiate at all on without a Blink Dagger. And top lane is just Naix, who will rage away and lock away every time. Yeah, they're just slowly losing... They're just slowly losing damage on every tower and getting out-farmed right now.
And I guess maybe that'll change once Burning gets his Battle Fury, but he's not going to have it until like the 17-minute mark or so. It looks like net on RTK. He will skewer back. DK desperately trying to hold on to this tower, but as you mentioned, Hal parked in one lane. They had the Storm parked in another, but now they're actually going to look to set up a kill here. Oh, if Super dies now, this would hurt, and it's going to hurt. A zip, a pull. Super looks to be dead. He will fall. Gets off of a resilient silence, but not enough in the end. Tang Fu are really cruising, and now the tier 2 top is going to be under a lot of pressure. And thing is, nobody can even...
When you have a team fight heroes that can't ever pick a team fight.
Yeah, they're diving bottom with only 3. They have 2 top, and they're still looking to go. Defensive disruption forced out. Sangsheng now tries to TP away. Skewer will cancel his TP. That was a rather ambitious one, I must say. Will die to a shockwave. Potentially an unnecessary death, but they do get the tower bottom. And now, uh-oh, here comes Storm. He's got a DD rune. Burning's going to zip, or rather blink. While Storm zips, gets the 1 auto tech. If he gets a pull, Burning will be dead. Blink available. Oh, he couldn't blink in time. Just had it off cooldown there. Well, that's not good. Burning dying for DK. And Tang Fu, I mean, they're just playing this mid game super well. I guess the only mistake there was Sangsheng just TPing out in front of 3 enemy heroes. But aside from that, it's been pretty flawless for Tang Fu thus far.
Yeah, this is their preferred playstyle. They just want to farm up 3 heroes as safely as possible, which is why they always end up picking Weaver very early on compared to other teams.
Yeah, they didn't get the Weaver this game. The Windrunner was banned out as well, but they found some suitable replacements here. Lifestealer, Storm, Naga, a versatile core. You get some lockdown, you get some burst damage, you get very elusive and hard to kill carries, and you get heroes that can pressure early without really being worried about getting ganked. And like you said, DK just desperately need these Blink Daggers. I think it's at the point where RTK has to forego the Arcane Boots. If he goes for Arcane Boots now, he's not going to have a blink until like the 22, 23-minute mark, it feels, and that is probably going to be too late. Well, looks like he's getting Arcanes.
He needs to be able to outpush lanes with his team while they try to catch up, I guess.
Yeah, it's really hard for Mag. You can't even necessarily use your full combo unless you've got a full Magic Wand without the Arcanes. But this means a very delayed blink for him, and for Super, only 500 gold. Nowhere to be found. For Tang Fu, Brex, what's your game plan if you're them? Just continue pushing these lanes and farming? Should they be forcing fights? Is Roshan in the offing? What should they be doing?
Oh, farming these lanes is perfectly okay. They're farming 3 lanes while DK's farming 1.5 basically, plus jungle.
And they're going in on RTK now. Gets disrupted by the Laguna Blade. I think it's too much. Infest Bomb will come through. King J giving chase. It's a sad day to be RTK, I must say. He just can't catch a break.
50% of the time it's a sad day to be ROTK.
The other 50%, it is friggin' spectacular, but not today. Not today. Mu pushing the middle lane. He might even look to make a jump here at Super. That Blink Dagger that we keep on talking about, it could be a 30-minute blink if he keeps on dying like this. Very hard to get any farm, because if you sit at your tower, Tang Fu don't care. They'll sleep you, they'll net you, they'll zip in on you, and they'll look to kill you fast. Burning. Battle Fury is finally up. 17.5 minutes in, a very, very late Battle Fury, especially by Burning standards. And he's gone for it with Tranquil Boots. No wands, no treads.
I think even if he did have, you know, let's say, almost a Manta at this point, it wouldn't make a difference, really. They'd still lose team fights without Mag and Puck being able to get all their spells off properly.
Yeah, he probably needs to be 4-slotted at this point. And Tang Fu need to be 1 or 2-slotted for it to be enough. But, well, that's a long way off for him. And there's your Orchid. Oh, this was bad. Mu getting an Orchid at the same time that Bernie just picked up a Battle Fury. He won't have any way to jump out of that silence with Manta. And, oh, this could be trouble. They're smoked up. Mu rotating through the mid lane. DK very defensively parked in their own jungle, their own tier 2. Mu's going to find a haste as well. I don't like the smell of this if I'm a DK fan. Tang Fu on the run. Or rather, DK on the run. Tang Fu heading up the river towards the tire top lane and Burning. I think he's farmed 1 creep wave too far. He's got to blink and TP out now or he's going to get caught. It's too late. Here comes Storm. Zip. Insta-silence. Now the pull. Laguna to the face. And down she goes. Down he goes, I should say. The anti-mage foiled. They'll try to retaliate by ganking Hal bottom lane. It looks like RTA wants to RP this. Shockwave at the start, but it's a lifestealer, Brex. You ain't killing him.
Definitely not. You're not killing anyone on Tang Fu this game.
And that's scary. When Burning is that easy to kill, and the enemy lifestealer is that hard, I don't really know what you do if you're DK. It is very dangerous to be an anti-mage.
There's actually nowhere for DK to farm this game.
Yeah. There's no tier 2 mid. There's no tier 2 top or bottom. And what's worse is the enemy team has a Naga, a Storm, and a lifestealer. Their initiation range is a screen and a half, at least, if not 2. And that makes it nigh impossible to leave the base. So they can't farm. Tang Fu can. And I imagine if you're Tang Fu, going for Roshan fairly soon is something they might look to do. They could jump on Bernie now. He's a bit isolated. Storm's going to zip in. Bernie gets silenced. Now he gets pulled. I don't know if they've got the burst. Laguna Blade still cooling down. It will be a 2-hero Light Strike Array from Banana. Well, that fruit packs a punch. Now Sangsheng giving chase. RTK driven back into the well. Or into the tier 3, I should say. And in all 3 lanes, Tang Fu, they ramp up the aggression. This is a team that's known for executing 4 protect 1, a very defensive style. They can't even protect Burning, and they're at their own base. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, they just don't have any heroes to deal with all the split push properly, I guess.
In theory, I guess QQQ could disrupt Burning if he's in position, but in practice, they just can't. He just can't keep up with the Storm and the lifesteal. And if he's visible, they just jump him instead. So it's very tough for him to get anything done.
Yeah, even with the Lich mid, that slowed down and started a little bit, you know?
It doesn't
Really
feel like
do
it.
anything to him.
He's 3-0 and 5. Mu, It doesn't feel like he's been slowed down at all this game, and they're just going right into Roche. Soul Burn going to be used on Roshan, so he'll take a bit of additional damage here. And with a basher up on Hao, Mu now working towards that next item. We'll see what it is, but something like a Scythe of Vice might be in the offing. This is going to be pretty scary. Even a BKB for Mu wouldn't be bad. Roche going to fall. 20 minutes and 30 seconds in. 11-2 our score. Tang Fu claim the first Roshan of the game. And if they want to break this high ground, Brax, do they have the tools they need to do it, or do they just have to sit back and farm a bit more?
They do actually have the tools to do it, but buybacks, man, it changes Dota.
Yeah.
You never know what's gonna happen when you're deep in their base and you get RP'd.
Yeah, that's always tough for especially for DK, because they're defending, so they'll be able to buy back and rejoin these fights instantly. We'll see if it matters though. If RP is already used and then Magnus buys back, that doesn't really make a difference. Same for this puck, but they have been dying without getting off their ultimates in quite a few fights. If you're just tuning in, if you're just joining us, it's Game 1 of the Dota 2 Super League Grand Finals. DK versus Tang Fu. It is a best of 5, and right now it is just not going DK's way. They're the older team, they're the veteran team, but they just, for the most part anyway, and they just have not been able to slow down Tang Fu. All 3 cores getting massive farm around the world, and Mu's actually on the hunt. He spotted out QQQ, top lane, just on a casual journey. Now silences him, double damage rune available, not choosing to pop it yet. He will use it now. QQQ dropping fast, now pulling Burning. Burning's got to run, he can't win this fight. Maybe he can. Pops the Mana Void, now must retreat out. But a respawn here, will he get out? Just barely in time. Well played by Burning. Meanwhile, mid lane, this could be the high ground. This could be the first lane of Rax. Super nice phase shift, dodges the soul assumption there. Well, they popped the Aegis. They only lost the Shadow Demon. Not a bad trade, to be totally honest, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Tang Fu sieging the high ground, looking for their first lane of Rax. 22 minutes in. The score still 12-2. Nice micro from Kinjay's Illusions. Looking to Riptide multiple enemy heroes. Not using it yet. Now open wounds are burning. Not blinking away. They're trying to bait out a blink. They'll get him to. And now they can hit the Rax a bit more. RTK still doesn't actually have a Blink Dagger and a 2-hero stun. This looks bad. Laguna again, this time on Burning. Now in RP, but only catches King J. Very tanky. Not dead yet. Earned up. Now the Chain Frost bumping, but he gets 4-staffed away. He'll be okay. And they are fighting without Mu, by the way. Mu wasn't in this fight. That's without the Storm. 14-2 your score. They find 3 more kills, and they don't lose anyone.
You know, they had a really good idea there. They showed up as 4 heroes on the map, and obviously the Storm's going to get fogged somewhere, so they can't really know exactly where he is. And they went for the AM, because AM's going to try to split push. It's their last hope. And DK knew that was going to happen and had the SD there to try to save him, but I guess really
just didn't matter. And here we go. Big zip it on Super. Instantly blown up by the Silence. Yeah, Brax, this is looking pretty dicey. There's no RP at this point. There's no Dream Coil. I just don't see how DK can defend. And they're getting absolutely slaughtered. Butchered in the base, really. In comes Burning. He does unload a pretty nice Mana Void Shockwave. Brings Banana down. Have they overextended? Hal finds 2. Now you're Song of the Siren. Will Tang Fu actually back King J? He's going to just walk away. Looked like he thought about sticking around. Won't in the end. Dodging a Shockwave here and still retreating. So they do trade 2 for 2 at the end, but they get another kill on Burning. It's actually, he's 0. Wow. Burning is 0-5 this game. 24 minutes in. How often have you ever heard anyone say that? That almost never happens.
Yeah, the gold difference is just way too big now.
Speaking of that gold difference, it is a 22,000 gold lead, 24 minutes in. A 20,000 experience lead. DK may not know just how bad it is, but yeah, it is. It's bad, Brex. It's very bad.
Oh, it's definitely bad. It's no secret at all.
When they're diving you at the face like that, and now they're going into RTK. They'll silence him. They'll pull a man Mu, going for a Bloodstone or maybe a Linkage from the looks of things. Doesn't matter. More mana for him either way, and it will be a Bloodstone actually with a point booster now picked up. So Mu getting absolutely out of control. They dual laned him mid with a Lich. The whole point of doing that is to slow down the enemy farmer, but, well, look at Mu now. And Tang Fu will push mid again. 5 heroes grouped up. RP has cooldown. There's no Blink Dagger, however, and Mag still on the sidelines for 20 seconds. Buybacks are up on the Mag, the Lina, but even a Mag buyback, what would it really accomplish? He's not even buying back. RTK is saying you can have our first lane of Rex. And we might just give up the second as well. They'll retreat for the time being, but with an Abyssal Blade up on Hal, the item progression just keeps on going for Tang Fu. In game 1 of this best of 5, they might just be able to go for the gusto here and end the game. They'll march up that top lane. They'll work on the second lane of Dire Rax, the melee, or rather the tier 3 top, dropping pretty quickly. DK smoked up and under cover of smoke, looking for a pick. Super comes in, does manage to coil 2. Song of the Siren is cooling down. Chain Frost coming as well. It's about as good as it's going to get for DK, but how? Doesn't care. Gets RP. Chain Frost still bouncing, doing absolutely nothing, it feels. Super caught. QQQ to fall, and now burning on the way out. GG from DK. They just got hammered in game 1. 22-5, your final score. A 25-minute victory. They made this look very easy, and Tang Fu will take game 1 in this best of 5.
Top barracks are under attack.
Wow.
Alright, so going back to the draft, like,
Dire's top barracks.
if you look at these 5 heroes on paper, you think, hey, DK is an amazing team fight with an AM who's going to get big and fat and scary. And then you look at Tong Fu and they're like, oh, hey, they can catch a lot of people and they can split push, but their team fight isn't as great even with the Naga Siren. But they just know that they're never going to take a team fight. They just want to make these small little ganks on the solo lanes and keep the heroes with the Naga so she can get her sleep off and just split push forever and ever. And just slowly win every lane.
Yeah, they didn't even, it wasn't even slow, but if they needed it to be slow, it felt like it could have been. They didn't feel like they were pressing too much, and, well, it was pretty quick at the end, Brax. 26-minute victory. How often do we see that against DK? This team normally turtles until 40 minutes, even if they lose.
These guys are the tower defense masters.
Yeah, they are definitely the champions of tower defense. The champs. Well,
I see what you did there.
yeah,
You threw in champs.
just for you, buddy, just for you.
Under attack.
Thanks. Used it a little incorrectly, though. There's 10 champs in this game.
Okay.
5 of them won, 5 of them lost.
Who's your favorite? You like RTK?
Yeah, I do, actually. I think he's a really good solo player, but then he,
Victory.
no comment on the rest. He's a good player, overall.
You left many things unsaid, it felt. Well, game 1 will go the way of Tang Fu. Brax, thanks for joining me. Are you going to stick around for the other games?
Yeah, sure, I'd love to.
I'd love having you. Hopefully you can hear me better in game 2. We'll try and see if we can restart the call, get some better audio on your end so you know what I'm saying. But appreciate your insight, Brax. If you enjoy Brax's casting, you can follow him on Twitter, twitter.com/BraxLikesDota, I believe. Is that correct,
That's
Brax?
right.
That's right. All right. As for me, I'm LD beyond the sub. But guys, stay tuned. Game 2 and this best of 5 is coming up next. Tang Fu are now leading 1-0. DK will have to figure out a solution for the onslaught because they got crushed. 26:50 your final time, 23-5 your final kill score. We'll be right back after these messages. Stay tuned.